From Daily Trust News Center, this is News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, flood displaces hundreds in Adamawa and Yobe states. Soldiers prevent terrorist attack as bandits abduct scores in Abuja and Katsina. Nigeria's oldest operating airline, Aero Contractors, temporarily suspends operations. And on the foreign scene, gunman kills 3 at Greenwood Park Mall in the United States of Indiana. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. No fewer than 500 residents of Loko, one of the top agrarian areas of Song local government area of Adamawa State, have been rendered homeless. This was as a result of heavy rainfall on Sunday, which lasted for about 10 hours. Salis Lawan reports that the heavy downpour washed away farm inputs worth millions of naira. Here's that report.
It was a tale of one loss after another, as residents of the area helplessly watched the heavy rains washed away their sources of livelihood.
It's actually the will of God, but the flood have seriously affected us. Most of our belongings have been washed away. Indeed, we the people of Loko have suffered losses.
Of course, no life was lost, but we lost farm input worth millions of naira as the result of the heavy rains.
Seriously, the heavy downpour have wreaked havoc on us, especially with the farmers, as we lost many of our valuable things, especially foodstuff, alongside documents. We actually need government support. Apart from rendering hundreds of residents homeless, the flood also wreaked havoc in Kaswambohu, area of the agrarian community of Loko. Chairman of the market, Ibrahim Aliyu, said they lost over 800 bags of grains to the flood.
We are calling on the government to help us provide drainages to the waterways in Loko, because sincerely, lack of the drainages has been a major cause of the flooding. We are appealing and calling on government to please come to our aid.
Some local government chairman, Gidado Abdul Salam, visited the areas affected and commiserated with the victims. He promised timely intervention to the victims to caution the hardship occasioned by the flooding.
I sympathize with them. However, as the local authorities, we will assist them with the necessary palliative to cushion their hardship.
Last year, Loko settlement area was among the most hit areas by flooding, according to the National Emergency Management Agency. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
Local flood-ridden area of Adamawa State, and still staying with flood-ridden areas around the country, several communities in Gulani local government area of Yobe State have been ravaged by floods, forcing residents to desert their homes. The district head of Bularafa town in Gulani local government, Yarima Maina, confirmed the incident and said the flood was caused by a river overflow following a persistent rainfall on Sunday, which lasted for more than 14 hours across many locations in the state. A resident of Bularafa town, Mbaya Bularafa, said those trapped in the flood were rescued by local swimmers. In the meantime, the Executive Secretary of Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Mohammed Goje, said a team has been mobilized to the scene. At least 10 people were on Sunday night abducted in Shema quarters of Dutsenma local government area of Katsina State. Dozens of terrorists attacked the area at night amidst heavy downpour, shooting sporadically and scaring residents of the estate. The terrorists later broke into houses and abducted 10 people, including a 9-month pregnant woman. However, 5 out of the 10 victims escaped unhurt, while the remaining 5 are in the custody of the terrorists. Since the killing of Assistant Commissioner of Police Aminu Umar, the terrorists have been threatening to destroy Utsimma town, which was hitherto resisted by the late area commander. This is the 3rd time Utsimma town is coming under attacks since the unfortunate killing of the area commander 15 days ago. A 7-year-old boy, simply identified as Ayuba, was killed when bandits struck at Paikom Basa community in Gurdi ward of Abaji Area Council of Abuja. A resident, James Kwatana, said bandits who came with sophisticated weapons invaded the community on Friday night. He said apart from the child who was killed, a man and his wife were also hit by stray bullets. Kwatana said the bandits abducted 4 residents and raided some shops where they carted away foodstuff. The district head of Gulida, Abubakar Sadauna, confirmed the incident via telephone. He said the couple who were shot had been taken to a private hospital for treatment in Gwagwalada. In the meantime, soldiers have foiled a planned attack on a military base in Sarkimpawa, the headquarters of Munya local government area of Niger State, by terrorists suspected to be members of Boko Haram. Daily Trust gathered that terrorists had already taken positions close to a military base around 2:23 in the morning when soldiers in Sarkimpawa responded and engaged them in a gun duel. A military source who described the success as one of its kind, as no life was lost from the side of the soldiers, said the swift response by the reinforcement team from Minna also saved the situation. Reacting to the development, the Niger State Governor, Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, said the planned attack would have been devastating if not for the swift response by soldiers in Sarkimpawa and the reinforcement team from Minna. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Mary Noabajai, commended the military and other security agencies for their swift response to the planned attack. The Zamfara state government has suspended the emir of Sabon Birni Yandoto of Safe local government area of the state, Aliyu Garba Marafa, for turbaning a notorious repentant bandits leader, Adamu Alero, as Sarkin Fulani. This is made known in a statement by the secretary to the state government, Kabiru Balarabe, and made available to newsmen on Sunday. According to the statement, the government dissociates itself from the alleged turbaning, adding that a committee has been set up to investigate the circumstances leading to the action of the emir. In the meantime, the district head of Yandoto, Mahe Garba Marafa, has been assigned to take charge of the affairs of the emirate. Kano state government has announced a ban on the operations of tricycles after 10 o'clock in the night with effect from Thursday, July 20th, 2022. A statement issued by the Commissioner for Information, Malam Mohammed Garba, indicated that the decision to limit the operations of the tricycles, popularly known as Adaita Sahu, was reached at the end of the state security meeting. He said the measure was part of efforts to ensure security of lives and property in the state. The Commissioner, in the statement, urged tricycle riders to comply and stop operating after the stipulated time, as security agents would enforce the ban without compromise. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLA, has opened its case against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP, Abba Kyari. Kyari is standing trial on an 8-count charge bordering on conspiracy, obstruction, and dealing in cocaine and other related offenses before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja. Madia Umar has more.
At the resumed trial on Monday, the NDLEA brought a commander of narcotics attached to its forensic unit, Patricia Afolabi, to testify as its first witness. The witness told the court that part of her job specification involves receiving and conducting forensic analysis on drug exhibits. Michael Mbanefo is a counsel to the second and third defendants.
Prosecution counsel brought their first witness, who apparently is a forensic analyst in charge of narcotics. Rather, she is the one that conducts the tests on behalf of the NDLEA. And she's been put in the witness box to say what she knows about the matter. And she has commenced same. But the fact is that they served us another document again, which was not originally in the proof of evidence we have. And for me, who is defending the third defendant, and as well as the second defendant's counsel, requested the court to adjourn the matter so that we can have a good study of the documents that they presented today in regards to the forensic analysis that were randomly conducted in the suspected substance of cocaine.
Meanwhile, Justice Emeka Nwite has fixed Wednesday, 20th July, to hear the fresh application for bail by the defendants alongside DCP Kyari. They include ACP Sunday Ubia, Inspector Simon Agirigba, Inspector John Nuhu, and ASP Bauer James. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from the courts, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, has reported a fire incident at the Plank Market in Uingbo, Okobaba area of Lagos. Permanent Secretary of LASEMA, Olufemi Osaintolu, said the agency quickly responded to bring the blaze under control in collaboration with Lagos Fire and Federal Fire Services. Dr. Osaintolu, in a statement, said LASEMA had requested for security cover as hoodlums and miscreants were hampering the efforts of the joint responders. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, coping with rising tomato prices in Kaduna. Stay.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Flood displaces hundreds in Adamawa and Yobe states. Soldiers prevent terrorist attack as bandits abduct scores in Abuja and Katsina. Moving on, the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, on Monday officially unveiled Bishop Isaac Idahosa as a running mate to its presidential candidate, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. The event took place at the International Conference Center in Abuja. The presidential candidate of the party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, had, prior to the unveiling, stated that the choice of Idahosa as his running mate is based on the cleric's outstanding record and impeccable character.
Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this gathering is to officially present to the good people of Nigeria the patriot that we have carefully chosen to join me on the presidential ticket of the NNPP as my running mate. Fellow compatriots, I present to you the next Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bishop Isaac Idahosa, PhD.
On behalf of myself and my entire family, I humbly accept the nomination as the Vice Presidential candidate of His Excellency Engineer Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso under the umbrella of our great party, the NNPP. At this critical junction of our nation's history, our country deserves a fresh start, and Nigerians deserve a fresh new idea, a fresh deal that will steer away the country from division and hate.
And still staying with politics, the Oyo State House of Assembly has approved the nomination of Bayo Lawal as the state's deputy governor. Lawmakers in the state gave the approval on Monday afternoon after impeaching Rauf Olaniyan as the state's deputy governor. Olaniyan was impeached by the lawmakers over allegations of misconduct. The decision to impeach him was reached after the lawmakers presented and considered the recommendation of the 7-man panel set up by the Chief Judge, Munta Abibola, to investigate him over allegations of gross misconduct and abuse of office. The impeachment, according to the Assembly, takes immediate effect.
I, Adelebari Adeleke Lawal,
do solemnly swear
that
I will be faithful
I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as Deputy Governor of Oyo State, I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic.
The coalition of civil societies accredited by Independent National Electoral Commission to monitor the just concluded governorship election in Osun State on Monday declared the election was credible and met the expected standard. At a press conference in Osogbo on Monday, the coalition urged all politicians in the state to accept the outcome. In separate interviews with Trust TV on the sideline of the press conference, National Coordinator of Women and Youth Pathfinder Initiative, Fidelis Nweke, and the Coordinator of Independent Masses Forum, Folusho Faromi, said the Osun governorship election was fair and acceptable.
As a true reflection of the will of the people of Osun State, since INEC has announced a clear winner of the election, the rest of the candidates should see themselves as co-winners and toe the path of peace by congratulating the clear winner for the good and progress of the state, because Osun State remains a home for all of its citizens, and the government there will emerge from the election should be government for all of the people of Osun State.
The election is peaceful, credit must go to, first of all, we must give glory to God Almighty for allowing the election to go smoothly, although there are some little something, but that is very negligible. And we must give credit to INEC. From the roots, let me take it from the root. We must give credit to the man that initiated electoral reform, late President Umaru Yar'Adua. And the electoral reform was completed by, was improved upon by President Goodluck Jonathan, Ebele Jonathan. So we must give credit.
In the same vein, the Center for Democracy and Development has commended the use of technology by Nigeria's electoral body INEC in the just concluded Osun State governorship election. The center, while announcing its key observations during the poll, says that the deployment of the bimodal voters accreditation system, also known as BVAS, helped improve the integrity of the poll. The center commended the technology which helped transmit results from polling units in real time to the electoral body's online portal, thereby eradicating incidents of result swapping.
As at 6 p.m., that's on the election day, CDDEAC observed that 84.3% of polling units covered had transmitted their result via BVAS. Likewise, the INEC result viewing portal was in full operation for the uploading of results in most of the polling units. At about 10 p.m. on the election day, 99.7% of the results were available on the IRAM. This level of compliance is commendable and needs to be encouraged for future elections.
I only need to add that there's still a lot of work to be done going forward. We have tried to identify that. But that work is not just for those who are involved in the management of the elections only, the INEC and others. But for, as I said when we started on Wednesday, it's a job for all Nigerians because we must commit to making sure that we have credible elections in this country.
The Yariman Wazir in Gombe, Alhaji Yahya Hamari, has warned politicians to desist from engaging youths in political thuggery, popularly called Kalare, in Gombe State. Hamari, who spoke in an interview with Trust TV in Gombe, also urged the youths to prepare to vote for candidates that mean well for the country in the forthcoming 2023 general elections. Ibrahim Ismail now reports.
Political thuggery is a form of social insecurity in Nigeria, and Gombe is battling one, known as Kalare. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, leaders are concerned that insecurity may rear its ugly head and disrupt the peaceful conduct of the elections. Against this backdrop, the Wazir in Yariman Gombe is campaigning for the youth to conduct themselves peacefully.
I am appealing to the politicians. Please, if you want to use those somebody's sons and daughters, why can't you bring your own so that they can join hands together so that they can do whatever you like them to do? Therefore, it is very unhealthy for the politician to use them in one way or the other, whereby they can be convicted with honest and they're killing themselves. Therefore, I'm appealing to the politicians, the leaders, more importantly, the leaders, those hidden ones, they should please avoid all these type of criminalities.
The retired civil servant called on politicians and other stakeholders to engage the youth positively in the electoral process.
The well-to-do are just using them for their own benefit in order to bring chaos. After bringing chaotic situation in the area, especially during the voting period, you find out there are a lot of hooliganism. All those hooligans called either Boko Haram or called Sara Suka or Lankalare, whatever they call them, they are not benefiting the country. They are not useful to the country, even to their community. Therefore, I am appealing to them, please let them unite together with the women.
The Nigeria police had in April 2022 arrested a group of Kalare boys who allegedly stabbed a personnel of the Nigerian army, Ibrahim Yahya, to death. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. More news after the break. Do stay.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Thanks for rejoining us. Political aides of Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State are to leave office with effect from July the 31st. The termination notice is contained in a memo released on Sunday by Folusho Daramola, the Secretary to the State Government in Ado Ekiti. This is to enable the state government process all outstanding allowances of the affected officials ahead of the winding up of his administration. The memo explained that the termination is pursuant to the Ekiti State Transition Law and is expected to ensure smooth change of baton between the incumbent administration and the new government. Governor-elect of Ekiti, Biodun Oyebanji, candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, was declared winner of the governorship election by the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC on June 19th. Governor Fayemi's tenure expires on the 15th of October. Tragedy was averted along the Bauchi-Maiduguri highway when a Toyota bus ran into animals with the herder escaping by the whiskers. The incident, which occurred at Ganjua local government area of Bauchi when the bus was crossing an international cattle route near Dabunkaswa, left one of the cows dead while two others and a donkey were critically injured. Adamu Imam completes that report.
The herder Alhaji Lawal Usman told journalists at the scene of the accident that he was heading to Niger Republic from Cameroon when the incident happened. Trust TV captured the mood at the scene shortly after the accident. Free flow of traffic was temporarily affected as more herders were seen crossing their animals through the cattle road, which was established during the military era of Olusegun Obasanjo.
We're crossing Bauchi-Maiduguri Highway when the vehicle lost control and crashed into my animals. I was lucky to have escaped. This is not the first time I am experiencing this kind of incident because several accidents have been happening on the road. Government should do something about the portion of the road that usually causes these accidents.
Leader of the community, Abubakar Muhammad, who is known as the Chiroma of the Benkaswa, appealed to the federal government to address the problem of cattle route in Nigeria.
The government has to build speed breakers, erect a signpost, or come up with some kind of mechanism that will alert motorists of the cattle route here. The accident happened because of the difficulty the animals face trying to cross the road.
He, however, urged drivers to be more cautious when plying major highways to avoid accidents.
Drivers should understand that even though this is highway, it is not a ticket for them to overspeed or not to observe traffic regulations, because such habits will always result in accidents on major highways.
The bus driver, who declined comments on camera, however, told reporters that he was on his way to Bauchi from Darazo when he suddenly encountered a fog that affected his vision. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Residents of Kaduna Metropolis are lamenting the increasing price of tomato in the market. While the tomato sellers attribute the increment in the price to unavailability of the produce and cost of transportation, farmers say excessive rain is affecting the yield of tomatoes. Here's that report.
Tomato is an essential cooking ingredient in many homes, though it is grown mainly in the north in large quantities. Recently, buyers have been experiencing persistent increase in the price of a basket of tomato.
It still affects my business. It affects my business was the amount that we are buying it. We use amount to go and buy the tomato. It will not be enough to use it and serve the people and get profit. We use the profit and buy tomato.
To be honest, the price is high. Although during Eid al-Kabir, the price was higher, but now it has dropped.
The price is up, unlike the way we used to buy before.
For sellers of tomato, the unavailability and the cost of transporting the product is responsible for the price increase. Cost of transporting tomato is high. Price of basket of tomato starts from 15,000 to 18,000 and 20,000. Abubakar Yunusa is one of the farmers along Bashama Road close to River Kaduna. He says the present weather does not augur well for tomato cultivation because of excessive rain. During dry season, we harvest large quantities of tomato because the cold weather is good for the tomato. Now, we are in rainy season and the excessive rain doesn't augur well for the plant, so we can't harvest large quantities. Another factor farmers believe is contributing to the scarcity of the product is the presence of termites that are believed to affect the tomato plant. Termites affect the plant this season. According to the farmers, farm input and modern farming technology will help to improve the production of tomatoes, therefore calling on the government to come to their aid.
Labour has directed its state councils to mobilize for a two-day solidarity protest on July the 26th and 27th against the continued closure of public universities. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, gave the directive in a notice sent to chairpersons and secretaries of its state councils. Labour said the protest is aimed at pressurizing the federal government to conclude negotiations with the unions and ensure the resumption of academic activities in public universities. Meanwhile, former Nigerian Bar Association NBA president and chairman of the body of benchers, Wole Olanipekun, SAN, said the lingering strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, should be considered a national emergency. The Kaduna State government has recorded an increase of 28.3% in facility delivery after the adoption of Group Antenatal Care Intervention Project in the state. A State Commissioner of Health, Dr. Amina Mohammed Baloni, who made this known during the fact sheet presentation by the Center for Integrated Health Programs, explained that through its Group Antenatal Care Project, the state also recorded 148% increased postpartum family planning. Sagir Ibrahim completes that report.
The Kaduna State Commissioner, during a fact sheet presentation organized by the Center for Integrated Health Programs, CIHP, explained that the 28.3% increase recorded followed the adoption of the Group Antenatal Care Intervention Project being implemented by CIHP in the state.
This intervention we found has greatly improved the number of people that come for antenatal and more people are coming to deliver in the facilities. All the places where we're doing antenatal, we hope to adopt this intervention where women interact with each other and interact with health facilities, encourage each other to continue taking this intervention. A lot of women come for antenatal care. They don't always end up coming, you have several visits. We have 4 visits. And you find somebody comes for 1 antenatal and he doesn't go for 4.
The State Director of CIHP, Dr. Emmanuel Uda, explained that the project has not only helped to bring pregnant women together, but also helped in involving their husbands to become more aware of their health.
It's really quite different because first and foremost, this is a model where the pregnant women themselves come together in a cohort, and provide a kind of support each other in the care for their pregnancies. Okay, and now also this is a project that actually brought a greater involvement of their spouses, of the husbands, okay, in the health of their pregnant wives. So it's actually a bit more different, and for us this is actually the way to go in today. Reproductive health care delivery system. This is the way to go.
Others commended the project, adding that it has greatly improved the turnout of pregnant women attending antenatal care, as well as adopting family planning methods.
There is a great increase in the maternal child health improvements in Kaduna State. When we look at the data, we see that there has been a high proportion of pregnant women visiting antenatal care.
We have been supported in Kaduna State to have up to 485 facilities to be conducting the group ANC sessions, and we have trained over 1,400 healthcare personnel on group antenatal care, so that's a good number, and we intend to use this number to mentor other people as well as train other people, other healthcare workers that were not trained initially, so that the group ANC can be sustained.
Sagir Ibrahim reporting for Trust TV.
Still talking health, Borno State has recorded its first case of monkeypox in Maiduguri and Biu local government. Confirming the reported cases, the Commissioner for Health, Mohammed Arab, stated that 1 person tested positive to the disease at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, while the other was discovered in Biu local government. Arab added that 1 patient has already been discharged. He said the Ministry of Health is prepared to contain the spread as it is in communication with foreign health organizations and called on residents to live hygienic lives.
Is that whether there is a case or there is no case, what are the preparatory measures we put in place? Very critical. And again, in that regard, we have at the level of the primary healthcare development agency, at the level of the ministry, at the level of the HMB, we have people that coordinate and we feed me with the information, and we even feed the national through our appropriate channels.
At the moment, we have sent about 4 samples from suspected cases, and 3 of them are positive. As the Honorable Commissioner rightly said, 2 were on admission at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, and 1 from View. The good thing about it is that about a week back, 1 was even discharged, and others were improving. So there was no life-threatening complications for those 3 patients. We are getting more information that it is not really airborne disease. So it means it cannot spread by coughing or sneezing or this. So what people are saying now is there has to be a kind of body contact. If somebody is infected and develop the signs and symptoms of monkeypox, and you are in close contact, like face to face, like a mother and a child now, face to face, then it's easy to contact. So you can say it's contagious, but not airborne disease.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. News Hour returns after the break. Do stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Nigeria's oldest airline, Aero Contractors, has temporarily suspended operations over economic crisis. In a statement announcing the development, the airline said the suspension of operation would take effect on July the 20th. The statement explained that as members of Spring Alliance, the airline is liaising with partner airlines to minimize the impact on customers, adding that its customer service team will be working to help affected customers reach their destinations. While apologizing for any inconvenience caused customers, the airline promised to return to service as soon as possible. And now more in business.
The Association of Nigerian Aviation Professionals, ANAP, is threatening to close the airports in support of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU strike. The news comes as the National Labour Congress, NLC, ordered its members to protest nationwide in support of ASU strike on July 26th and 27th. In a statement released on Monday by the General Secretary of ANAP, Abdulrazak Saidu, the association urged President Muhammadu Buhari to put an end to the strike immediately. According to ANAP, the prolonged strike has increased social vices in the nation since students are now participating in detestable acts that could ruin their futures. In a similar event, the National Union of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions employees said it will join the NLC in a strike in support of the ongoing ASU strike. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the African Development Bank Groups, AFDB, have signed an agreement for a grant on market surveillance system project in an effort to modernize Nigeria's capital markets and make sure that it is well positioned to support economic transformation driven by private sector investment. The Nigerian Securities Market Surveillance System project will use the $460,000 award to provide technical assistance and capacity building for the development of capital markets. According to Director General of the African Development Bank Group, Lamin Baro, the grant from the Capital Markets Development Trust Fund, a multi-donor trust fund managed by the African Development Bank with assistance from the Luxembourg Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Cooperation of the Netherlands, will support the purchase, installation and deployment of a real-time automated securities market surveillance system. And finally, in stock markets, the Nigerian equity market on Monday grew further as the all-share index appreciated by 0.20% to settle at 52,319.94 points from the previous close of 52,215.12 points. Investors gained 56 billion as the market capitalization was up by 0.20% to close at 28.214 trillion naira. The market break closed negative as 16 equities appreciated in their share prices against 22 equities that declined in their share prices. An aggregate of 116 million units of shares were traded in 4,525 deals valued at 3.46 billion naira. And that's it on Business News.
The price of crude oil climbed above the $100 mark on Sunday, hitting $101.16 per barrel after trading around $98 per barrel since Tuesday, as oil marketers in Nigeria maintained an increased pump price for premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, higher than the approved rate. Industry figures seen on Sunday showed that Brent, the international benchmark for crude, moved up by $2.06 or 2.08% to close at $101.16 per barrel as at 6:36 p.m. Nigerian time. The report showed that Brent dropped in price by $7.72 to close at $99.38 per barrel as at 7:45 p.m. Nigerian time last Tuesday, a development that persisted for the most part of last week. Popular Nollywood actress Ada Ame, known for her role as Emu Johnson in the award-winning Nigerian family sitcom The Johnsons, has died. Reports indicate that the actress slumped at an outing in Delta State on Sunday and was pronounced dead by medical doctors at a health facility where she was rushed to. Ahmed spent more than 2 decades in the Nigerian movie industry, making her break in the 1996 movie Domitilla. Also on Monday, the film industry received the news of the death of actress Shola Onaiga. The veteran thespian was known for her role as Ireti Aka cooking practicals in the defunct soap opera of the 90s, Checkmate. The actress reprised the role in the comedy Fuji House of Commotion, a spin-off of Checkmate, produced and directed by Amaka Igwe. And going international now, a gunman has killed 3 people at a shopping center in the United States of Indiana in the latest mass shooting incidents in the country. 2 others were also wounded when the attacker, carrying a rifle along with several magazines of ammunition, opened fire on Sunday at the Greenwood Park Mall, which is about 16 kilometers from the state capital, Indianapolis. The attacker's identity and motive for the attack, which took place in the shopping center's food court, were not immediately released. Police said the attack ended when a 22-year-old Good Samaritan who was legally carrying a gun fatally shot the attacker. Those injured included a 12-year-old girl, Greenwood Police Department Chief Jim Eason has said. And now we join Adeni Ajishafe for more in sport.
The 3-day African Track Cycling Championship, which took place at the Velodrome of MK Abiola Stadium, Abuja, has rounded off in the nation's capital. The event, hosted by Nigeria, was held from the 14th to 17th July 2022 and drew cyclists from 15 countries. The cyclists competed in senior and junior categories in keirin, individual pursuit, team pursuit, sprint, and scratch, among others. Ese Ukweseraye, who won gold in keirin, relished the opportunity of competing against the best in Africa.
I really want to appreciate my coaches because we have been in the camp for long, and for me, winning this keirin, I have to put more effort because, you know, when a lot of countries come to your own country to compete, you have a lot of tension, different motive on your mind. So I really appreciate that I put in my best efforts. So I'm very happy for me to win the gold medal.
Despite hosting a successful event, President Cycling Federation of Nigeria, Grand Domenico Massari, believes the growth of cycling is slow in Nigeria and sued for more support for the development of cycling.
But the motivation basically is to develop the cycling and to give opportunity to youth. It could ever be done much better. You know, track for us is a very new discipline. We have been in the past very active in the road cycling, but not in track, because we have to say that we started in January 2019 when we can be able to get back this velodrome. And if you consider even the fact that we have the period of pandemic, the COVID, where many activity will be at halt, then we have not really, compared to other countries, the possibility to have, continuous training.
Algerian cyclist Yassine Chadel, who won 3 gold medals, said the competitiveness at the championship was impressive and appreciated the velodrome used for the event.
I won 3 gold medals, 3 gold medals and 1 silver today. I'm happy because I won 3 gold medals, but actually, yes, today was the most important race. Sadly, I finished only second. My teammate won. I'm quite sad because this race was really important for the World Championship, but it is what it is. I still have 3 gold medals. It's great for me, it's great for my team, and now I will have to recover and prepare the World Championship in 3 months.
Host nation Nigeria came fourth on the medal table with 17 medals, comprising of 4 gold, 7 silver, and 6 bronze medals. South Africa led the medal table with 42 medals, made up of 20 gold, 13 silver, and 9 bronze medals, while Egypt and Algeria come second and third respectively. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And with this, we have come to the end of News Hour tonight. For more news, connect with us on all our social media platforms. I am Eugenia Abu. Thank you for joining us.